Okay, I'm here with Chris Brogan, the Managing Director of Security International, at the Surveillance State debate at Ludgate House. Chris, do you think we're in a surveillance state, and if so, why?
Yes, I think we are, because the way that terrorism has developed after 9/11, people's knee-jerk reaction to many things. Security is now at the main front of lots and lots of companies at the risk of privacy issues.
And on those privacy issues, where do they relate to CCTV? What are the main points that need to come across to members of the public, for example?
Well, I feel very strongly that CCTV, as with any form of security, is an intrusion into a person's privacy. I'm not saying you can't intrude, but in order for that intrusion to take place, it's got to be lawful, it's got to be reasonable, and it's got to be proportionate. And Article 8 of the Human Rights Act states that. Lawful basis is data protection, which to security is a naff subject. People don't pay enough attention to it. But those are the main factors, I think, that begin to affect it.
There was some discussion today about the importance of having somebody on the board of directors of main companies who are either security practitioners or at least have an interest in the discipline. What's your view of that?
Yeah, I think they should, because most directors, in my experience, don't know what directors are supposed to do. Most of them have never read the Companies Act 2006, and that's quite specific about that directors will be responsible for securing the assets of the company. Well, that's a security function or risk management function. I'm not going to fall out over the term. But until such time as they recognise that, there's not going to be enough importance attached to it at the boardroom level.
And in terms of the media and the way in which it portrays security and surveillance in particular, and I'm talking the national media here, how do you think we need to get the message across from the industry that things need to improve in that regard?
I think to actually show them the positive sides of it. During the discussion we came out about where it has helped, that CCTV isn't just necessarily about gathering evidence, it can provide you with information from which evidence can be unearthed. So just notification that on the CCTV that an individual wearing that particular hat was in such a locality can direct the police to put its resources in that locality to try to track that person down. The CCTV footage might not be sufficient to put in court, but it is sufficient to provide guidance and assistance to the investigator on the street.
And do you think the industry is doing enough to promote a positive view of surveillance?
No, I think they're ignoring it for the privacy issues, because of lack of knowledge, and I think a fear actually, because in the past security has always been reactive, and often when you've talked to organisations, they said, well, that's security. They don't really know what security does. And security have always liked that in the past. But unless they actually get the message across as to what value they bring to the bottom line, then they're always going to be seen as these ex-police, ex-military, ex-spokes, ex-something or other, and nobody knows what it is they're supposed to be doing.
Thank you very much, Chris.